Hey everyone, welcome to another Raw recap here on Pro Wrestling Sheet. I'm your host, John Rocha, joined as always by the editor-in-chief over there, Ryan Satin.
That's me. Hello, everyone.
How are you doing, man?
I'm doing great. Thank you for asking. Dude, I loved Raw last night, so I'm really pumped to talk about it. I feel like you might not have liked it as much as me.
I think I enjoyed it. I think there were a couple of things I'm going to have a conversation about, Canellis and steel chairs. These are the things that kind of took away from the overall enjoyment of the show itself. But overall, a good show.
Yeah,
Look,
it's weird. You know, I reported before the show ended that last night there was no Vince McMahon, Triple H, or Kevin Dunn present at Raw yesterday. Instead, it was Paul Heyman who ran the show with WWE's VP of Global Production. And
where was John Laurinaitis? Was he not there either?
No, well, he doesn't.
I'm not there.
He doesn't work on the creative side of things.
Oh, okay.
I believe he works on the talent relations side of things. I believe he kind of like is in charge. He's like the manager for creative, but not working with creative. He kind of just like helps, manage all of the producers and agents and kind of thing. But anyways, I noticed that it was a very polarizing episode of Raw yesterday. You know, I noticed that, when I tweeted that, and obviously this is the case with most Raws, but it was a lot of like, oh, well, that explains why the show is awesome. Oh, that explains why the show sucks.
Right.
And more so than normal, I had it like really down the middle of responses towards me on social media last night of like, either you really enjoyed the show or you really didn't. I guess you were kind of in the middle, I guess, on some things. But I felt like it was a really polarized episode of the show. And I feel like normally around this time, we're kind of in a boring period where it's kind of like going through the motions. And I felt like they did a good job of like keeping things up. You know, they kept them up. And I feel like things were moving. They were hyping things all across the card, making Bray Wyatt seem like a serial killer threat. And I loved it. I loved it so much. I loved almost all of the show. So I'm really excited to talk about it.
Well, let's get into it. It starts out with Seth Rollins talking about his loss. Talking about losing the tag team titles there at the recent pay-per-view. What was it?
Clash of Champions.
God, Jesus Christ. Clash of Champions. I got a lot going on, people. I got on a plane for London in a couple hours.
Did you have a chance to watch any of it?
Yeah, I did. I really enjoyed most of it. And I loved the Bayley-Charlotte match a lot with how that went down. And it was believable.
It was quick.
But it was believable. Sometimes quick matches will piss you off, but it worked for what they were trying to push.
I loved when she did the way she did it, where you clearly didn't notice that she was taking
you didn't notice it at all.
Yeah,
and then when it happened, you're like, wait, what?
You're like, whoa, wait, Bayley sneaky. And then when she took the title
and ran,
and booked it backstage, and then even in the interview they showed her doing backstage, she was like, yeah, okay, and blah, 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 and like ran off again, which I loved. And we'll get into the follow up to that.
When Ryan says chicken shit heel, this is what he means.
Totally,
and this totally works
because she's buying. She's now a parody of herself almost.
Yes.
Like now she's playing into the fact that you didn't like that, and she's using that for heel heat. I love that.
Yeah, and eventually when she does go back to face, she can say, I lost my way, I forgot what it was that got me here, blah, blah, blah. And then so it still works.
I also think she can do this for the next few months before she finally goes full heel and becomes like full dark Latina, like
don't
doing
be
her
surprised
thing.
if she like supersedes Sasha and is telling Sasha what to do in their tandem, because right now it feels like Sasha's the alpha and she's the beta. It may be possible that Bayley, as she grows into this heel role, may replace Sasha as the alpha in that situation. Won't that be interesting?
That's certainly possible. And the Clash of Champions, I don't know if I liked all the matches.
Yeah,
I think it was a good show. I don't think it was anything that was like blow anything away.
But it was good.
But honestly, the end of the pay-per-view was really where it was at with the Seth Rollins stuff and the Seth Rollins and Bray Wyatt stuff, which
he talks about in this promo. So
and so, but before we get into what happened on Raw, I loved at Clash of Champions that they pulled a page from NXT. They took a move from the NXT playbook where they had Seth Rollins, celebrating his win over Braun Strowman, which was a good match.
Yeah.
I didn't love them having to denigrate the stomp and put over the pedigree as like his super finisher.
Right.
Because I think brief technical difficulty there. Yeah. Hopefully, the rest of the episode gets seen after this. Fingers crossed. Cheers to it. Hopefully. This episode's not sponsored by anyone, but we just had to share. So, as we were saying, at the pay-per-view, I didn't love that they kind of made the stomp seem a little less weak. Made the stomp seem a little weak. However, I understand that it's Braun Strowman. He's this massive man. It takes a lot to put him down.
Yes, it does.
So I guess it made sense. So I didn't hate all of that. I did like the match. I thought they had a good match. But I loved all the after stuff because I think that they took, I loved, like I was saying, they took a page from the NXT playbook where they had Seth come up the ramp and do his celebratory thing, and they have the logo pop up like the show's about to end.
Yeah.
But before the show can end, they had the Bray Wyatt lights all start to go off or whatever. And you were just like, oh, I was in the middle of texting one of my friends who was at the show. And I was saying to him, oh man, I was literally in the middle of typing saying, a huge mistake not to include the Fiend at the end of the show. And before I could push send, it was like, pew, 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 and like everything started shutting down. I was like, yes. So I loved that. I thought they did a great job. The image of him like standing over Seth Rollins, all like holding his head, just looked so cool. Yeah. The hurt glove thing over his, just the imagery of everything related to the Fiend is so metal that I love it. So I loved the end of that show, and I loved this opening with Seth kind of like getting into it on Raw, and kind of like, although it was a little dorky when his response to the crowd chanting "Yowie Wowie" was "Yowie Wowie" indeed. Sounded a little dorky for some reason, but I liked it in general. Man, that crowd it was hot. Is hot for Bray Wyatt. I think. Look at. We've talked about it before a little bit, but I tweeted over the weekend. Yes, is it rushing into Bray Wyatt as champion?
Yes.
Yeah, it is. But you know what? We also always give WWE crap for taking too long on things and not striking while the iron is hot. Well, then you can have your rebuttal. All right. And not striking while the iron is hot, like Braun Strowman, for example, where Braun Strowman was at this apex, everyone was super into it, and they just didn't pull the trigger. Bray Wyatt is not some new wrestler. Yes, the Fiend might be a new character, his new incarnation of his character, but Bray Wyatt is not new to WWE. He's also not new to the WWE title scene or anything of that nature. So I feel like, yes, is it rushing into it? Absolutely. But at the end of the day, I go, it's the hottest thing in wrestling right now, and you're heading into a war with another company. Why not put all your money, like why not just bet and go all in, no pun intended, on the guy who's the hottest thing in wrestling right now? Yeah, and I hear your point of view, totally understand where you're coming from. My thing is this, yes, he's not new to the WWE, sure, but he has not worked for a lot of people in the WWE for quite some time. And I mean the Bray Wyatt character itself. When it first started, great, everyone was into it, the lights, boom, boom, the music, everyone was down. The Wyatt fan, but it was always this kind of like, yeah, it's cool, it's fun, but it's somehow something missing. There's something missing was lack of wins. Right. I thought I was going to get my rebuttal. Sorry. There's something missing, and you're like, what is missing? And then you see this thing with the Fiend, and you're like, great. The Firefly Fun House, they took their time. So, like, which game are you playing? You're going to take your time, you're going to rush it. They took their time with the Firefly Fun House to let you get into the idea of him being the Fiend. He's been attacking the legends. It's been great. To shoot him up the roster already after Rollins, that concerns me. Why? Because it could flame out rather than be a long fire like The Undertaker was. And I think that concerns me as well, because if Bray, if this goes back, if they give him the title, goes back for Seth, could be a great program. But if in the end, all you've done is put Seth over even more and lose the fire and the danger of Bray, that's my concern. So yes, could it work? Absolutely. Do I have a right to be cautious? Do fans have a right to be cautious? Absolutely, because we've seen Bray get burned before. I've been a fan of Bray from the beginning. Yeah. I know that Christian Harloff has gone back and forth on Bray, hasn't always been sold. And a lot of people online haven't always been sold on Bray. I think the people who aren't always sold on Bray, it's because it's not necessarily not sold on the character, but they're not sold on the execution. Yeah, execution. And that's, absolutely. It's more because that's really of the losses. It's one of those things where I know it totally is that Bray always was like, teed up, and then he'd be booked to lose. Yep. And it made his words, his character's words, ring hollow.
Yep.
And it made it seem like, well, we can't get into this guy. He loses all the time. He talks a big game, which is why you like him. He's got this cool mythology also. But at the end of the day, he loses. So why would you follow a cult leader who always loses? He's like, and I think that's why where the disconnect always was. I feel like if you then show the Fiend doesn't lose.
Yeah.
The Fiend isn't a loser like Bray Wyatt was when he was part of a cult in the family. The Fiend, which was the monster inside of Bray Wyatt that whole time, he wins so much that he wins the WWE title off the bat. I kind of love that.
Cool. But then what do you do with Rollins?
To be honest with you, I think, look, I like Seth Rollins.
You're not going to have
I'm a fan of Seth Rollins.
Heel lead the company.
Why not?
For a while. You're not going to have the heel lead the company for a while. Going into the Fox and the Battle of Fox, you have to have
Fox. You can't.
I'm sorry, not going into Fox. Going
Bray
into
Wyatt,
against
seems like Bray Wyatt's
TNT.
going to be on Raw.
Okay.
Right? If he's going to win the Universal Championship.
That's fair.
And then with the draft coming up, they've made it clear in the press release and stuff that they're going to go back to having distinct brands. Distinct storylines that don't cross over. They're going to be separate.
Okay.
If Bray Wyatt's in the Raw title, the Universal title scene, I don't think we have to worry about him going into Fox there, right?
Yeah.
So that's honestly why I think they're going to do it. They go like, okay, Fox is our safe thing. Fox is like, we have to play WWE safe. We got to do what we do best, not take these big risks, do our thing over on SmackDown, good wrestling. We want to present the classic WWE show, right? Which is why I think they put Bischoff in charge of it and they moved Ed Koskey over there. I think with Raw, they want to show that Raw is different now. They want to have this scary cult leader, scary serial killer like figure at the front of it, right? All this like scary stuff going on. There's more. I think they're gonna try and give the vibe of Raw is the more adult show.
Yeah.
SmackDown is the more WWE show you're used to, and that's why they're gonna have Bray Wyatt. I honestly think Seth Rollins is gonna get moved to SmackDown. Wow. I think Seth Rollins and Becky get moved to SmackDown. I think that Bray Wyatt somehow wins the when's the draft? October is after Hell in a Cell, right? Yeah, it's after Hell in a Cell. I think Bray Wyatt wins the Universal Championship. Seth Rollins and Becky get moved over to SmackDown. Wow. And we do some weird stuff with Bray Wyatt on Raw with Heyman at the helm, because this whole show was like one long episode of the Firefly Fun House. And you're telling me you wouldn't be into that if they keep doing that?
No.
Really?
Not if they keep doing it.
You don't like the Firefly Fun House as much as me.
It's not. Yeah. I'm not crazy metal like you. I'm not crazy about it like you are. You're insane about it.
I love
anything.
it.
Yeah. Anything he does. You're loving this whole thing with the Fiend.
Love it.
Yeah, and I get it. And I respect that. And
it's just cool.
And totally. And I think there should be a balance though, because what's going to rise up against him? If it's not Seth, what's going to rise up against him? And so I worry about that.
Well, look at but
having Seth get beat by the Fiend and then get shoved off to another, that's bad for his brand. That's bad for him with the fans. And I don't think they're going to do that to Seth. I really don't. That would look terrible for him. That's why I wonder about the situation, because you can't have Seth losing all the time to the Fiend.
He hasn't lost all the time. He beat Braun Strowman. He beat Brock Lesnar.
If he goes into this feud with the Fiend, if he starts to take losses repeatedly, then you're undercutting Seth. And you spent all this time building him up as a face.
I think he just loses one, and then he gets shipped off to SmackDown and becomes the face of SmackDown. Becomes one of the top guys on SmackDown.
You already have Roman there.
But Roman's not there all the time anymore. Like, Roman's not trying to be the WWE champion right now. They're doing other things with Roman. He wants to do outreach stuff. Seems like they want Seth Rollins to be one of the top guys. I don't know. I think
it's interesting.
I don't know. Yeah, I think that.
That's what I mean.
I honestly think that you have Bray Wyatt.
Yeah.
Win the title and just become. Like, I'm trying to think of what it can be compared to. Like Raw becomes like Pride Rock, where once Scar took over, it just became this dark, grim place. That's what I picture Bray Wyatt's Raw becoming, where it's just like this scary man who they don't know when he's gonna come out. Like this scary, dominant presence that it's like, I like that. I think that's cool.
So Finn comes back to challenge him.
Maybe.
That would be the logical thing.
Maybe like down the line or something like that. You know, that you have Bray Wyatt. I keep saying Finn for some reason, but Bray Wyatt. You have Bray Wyatt just kind of dominating Raw for a while, being the scary presence until someone is able to rise up and take him down at WrestleMania. That's cool 6 months of TV for me.
Yeah, all right. We'll see what happens. Certainly.
And sorry, we've gone so far off the point from this opening segment, but the opening segment to me, I loved it. I thought that, him coming out there and doing the whole apology, like I liked him talking about it and stuff, and then saying, was this when he said he was going to be there late? He might show up later in the night too. I thought that was great. And the whole, like, when they do the camera up close and they switched between Bray Wyatt and the Fiend. It looked so cool to me.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting for him to do a promo to Bray Wyatt in the Firefly Fun House. It's the first time we kind of crossed the lines there where he is doing the promo from inside. So now it's not fake anymore. Now that everyone can see the Firefly Fun House, it's not his mind anymore.
But it's
a real thing that exists, and you can interact with it as Seth did.
Yes. Absolutely, totally. That's a good point.
Step.
That is the first time anyone's really interacted with the Funhouse that I can think of. But they still had Ramblin' Rabbit pop up and say and do the whole thing where he's like, "This isn't what it looks like. This isn't what it looks like," and then he had to like slam down again. And even at the, after this, when they had the upside down graphic, and then at the end of the show when it's like the Funhouse or whatever, I think what we're supposed to get from that, since we probably won't talk about it at the very end, because we probably will forget, I think what we're supposed to get from that is that the Funhouse is starting to crumble somehow. Like, whatever's keeping the Funhouse together is breaking down a little bit. I think that's what we're supposed to get from like the weird burns on the film and like turning black and white.
I think that's fair.
Brown for a second, and Ramblin' Rabbit popping up. The closer he gets out of it, it starts to kind of change a little bit.
Right. Well, here's my thing. I don't want them to keep calling him Bray Wyatt. He's the Fiend. Call him the Fiend.
They do
say
he's
the Fiend. No, all across the board.
Well, no, but he's Bray Wyatt when he's in the Funhouse.
That's what I'm saying. I don't want him to be called Bray Wyatt, because by calling him Bray Wyatt, you're calling in the stuff of Bray Wyatt from before.
But that's the point.
If he's gonna go Fiend, then go be Fiend, and you should call him the Fiend, and that way the people have it in their head and blah blah blah. But this time it was weird to see him calling him Bray Wyatt now, like flat out calling him Bray Wyatt.
But isn't Bray Wyatt and the Fiend two separate entities? Aren't they two separate entities?
In whose world? That's the same person.
In this world of what they're building here,
they're the same person.
Bray Wyatt is the person who's in the Funhouse.
Right.
The Fiend is the monster inside of him that he unleashes.
And that's what I'm saying. If you're
keeping all this together.
If you're doing a promo, don't call him Bray Wyatt.
But that is Bray Wyatt.
Fuck with him by calling him the Fiend. That's my point.
Oh, okay.
That's my point. And I think if Seth's gonna,
Seth should have called him the Fiend.
I mean, look, I don't do it professionally cutting promos, but that being said, you want to really mess with somebody and get the fans back on your side against somebody as over as Bray is or as the Fiend is, start calling him by that, and then he has to react to that. Like, you're calling me the wrong name, like something like that, or that's not me right now. And all of that, you start messing, and it could add to the whole crumbling of the Funhouse. Could be fun. I'm just saying.
No, I bet you they'll go in that direction.
I hope so. And so
I mean, like you said, this is the first time anyone's actually interacted with someone in the Funhouse.
Right. All right. So Fiend says he might show up tonight, and then we go to the backstage, and Charlie stops Braun Strowman. Strowman was a bit dismissive about being stopped, and says, the next person that gets in that ring, you're going to get these hands. Please stop. Please stop saying get these hands. Please stop saying get these hands.
Don't stop saying please
stop saying get these hands. You don't need a catchphrase, son.
What?
You are strong enough without it. Use it sparingly. Therefore, it still has more impact. In essence, you're doing like what you see Urkel do in frickin' Family Matters. You're just repeating the same slogan over and over again. You don't need to.
You know what though?
What's that?
You made a terrible comparison there.
I'm just saying.
Because Urkel's "Did I Do That?" Him saying that so often has made him someone that will forever be ingrained in people's minds, and that phrase will be forever ingrained in people's minds.
And
which is why that show is so successful.
But how do people think about him now?
Well,
that's what I'm saying.
Jaleel White's really crying over that syndication money and the way people are looking at him now. He still lives a good life from that syndication money.
Again, you with this money thing. Money means nothing if you got no pride and respect from your peers.
People have pride and
respect. Wrong
You're
with
telling
you?
me that that anyone with a famous catch, that's like saying The Rock has no pride or respect because know your role and shut your mouth was something he said all the time.
The Rock has 40 catchphrases. It isn't one.
Yeah, but that's silly to say. He shouldn't be saying get these hands.
I'm just saying every single time at the end of every
promo. That's what he's supposed to do. It's pro wrestlers do. It's what catchphrases are. That's what What? That's like saying, oh, Hulk Hogan, you said what you gonna do, brother, one too many times. Maybe pull it back.
He's unfairly vilified. He doesn't do that. Woo is a different thing. Woo is great. Woo is a celebration. Get these hands is like a catchphrase.
Ric Flair, you don't always need to say to be the man, you gotta beat the man.
No, and he didn't always say that. But I will say this. You got to do it sparingly. That's what I'm saying.
Stone Cold, maybe don't say that's the bottom line one or two times.
He made it work, that's for sure. But he also didn't say it every single promo. And I'm just saying.
He definitely said it in literally almost every single promo.
Oh my God.
And that's the bottom line because Stone Cold said that's how
He didn't say it every promo?
That's like how he ends every promo.
When he got into the what chance, there was no that's the bottom line shit. There was none of that. I'm just saying, Bray, you don't need it.
So you're saying when he stopped doing it is when he was less over?
No, I'm saying when he stopped doing it because he didn't need to do it anymore because he was over as hell. And I'm saying, Strowman, you're over as hell. Stop doing Get These Hands. That's all I'm saying. All right, anyway, let's move on. Ziggler and Dolph with the Revival. They come out talking their victories because both of them took those tag team titles at Clash of Champions. Good matches, both those matches too for the tag team titles. Really enjoyed them. So happy that Rude and Ziggler are getting their chance. Rude getting on the mic saying all you people saying shit about us. It wasn't because you weren't doing your job, son. It's because they were booking you badly. Everybody was behind Robert Roode. They just were mad that you were being booked incorrectly. Now you're being booked while you deserve it. Let's see what happens when you say, I was excited by them winning. I had a feeling they would win. I didn't do that video, but I had a feeling they would win. And I was happy. And I was happy that they got it done. The Revival, a little bit less so, but New Day's they don't need the titles. New Day's a team that doesn't need the titles. They're so over. So it was good to see them talking about then Strowman comes out, absolutely demolishes the entire thing, and Rude runs out of there, leaving Ziggler to get his ass kicked. But see what you see. See with this? You don't need to Get These Hands. Just come in there, destroy 4 people, and walk the fuck on out. You don't need the catchphrase. You're good to go.
You gotta sell t-shirts, man. That's how you sell t-shirts.
I respect that. Did you like this? This was a good way of putting him back into Monster Among Men thing.
I also liked Rude and Ziggler winning the tag team titles.
Yep.
I didn't want Braun and Seth to continue on as tag team champions. And I mentioned this on Twitter last night, but when I did a recent interview with Cedric Alexander, he mentioned that Paul Heyman was a big fan of a match that he had on Main Event a few months ago with Robert Roode. Yeah. And that kind of led to, he believes that that's kind of why Heyman started to give him a push once he became the executive director of the show officially. And now we're seeing it with Robert Roode as well. Robert Roode is getting an opportunity here. He got the tag team titles on Sunday, and he gets to wrestle in the main event against the Universal Champion on Raw. Cool. I dig it. I think that, Robert Roode is an asset if positioned correctly.
Absolutely. And the fans are behind it.
Yes.
Fans screamed glorious as soon as he came out.
And Dolph, look at people want to talk crap on Dolph, but he's a heat magnet, dude. Like people are always, people are gonna boo him if he wants to get booed. Yeah. He's really good at that. I mean, and he's so smooth in the ring that he's one of those guys that you compare him with anyone, he's gonna be a good team. I mean, he is a clutch player. Right? So I also was happy that they got the tag team titles, something new for both of them. Yep. I was so over the it should have been me stuff. I was so over some of the other stuff they've been doing with him. I think this will be good for both. And similar with Braun Strowman, I think that they are, despite him losing, it took so much to put him down at Clash of Champions. Yep. And I do think they're on the path to getting him back to where he needs to be a valuable asset to the company again, and to get to a point to where he can be Universal Champion again, which I think is necessary.
Maybe he's the Fiend. He'll fight the Fiend.
Maybe, but
I can see him destroying the Firefly Fun House.
Maybe. I think he'll be one of the people that fights the Fiend if he wins the Universal Championship. But I see Fiend holding it to WrestleMania at least.
How? Really?
It just makes the most sense to me.
You think he'll win it at Hell in a Cell and then hold it till WrestleMania?
I would like to see that, yes. Maybe I'm thinking too highly in my head, but I would like to see that. I think that he can make it, that he can keep the 6 months entertaining to where they can do stuff with this new character that they haven't been able to do with other characters in the past. So I love it. I can see them doing that.
Okay.
But Braun Strowman was great here. I liked the Get These Hands thing. I disagree with Rocha. Dope catchphrase. Keep doing it.
It is a dope catchphrase. I didn't say it wasn't. I'm saying stop using it so much.
But I like the Revival winning too. I think they should be, like you said, the New Day doesn't need it necessarily.
Yeah, they don't need it.
So, and I think the Revival would be better on SmackDown anyways. I've dug the stuff they've been doing with Randy Orton, so keeping them over on SmackDown makes sense. So I thought this segment wasn't bad or anything like that. And also a good way to talk about all those things from the pay-per-view.
Yep, fair point. All right, Nikki and Alexa are in the back. Are they face or heel, for God's sake?
I think they're faces now.
Yeah. Even though Alexa's being all shady and
she's being more nice lately.
Yeah, but she's still throwing the shade in those promos a little bit, in those conversations with Nikki.
I think she's supposed to be a face now. I think
I
they're
don't
supposed to
want
be
them.
faces.
I don't like them as faces.
I don't want it.
I do not accept you as faces. I don't care what you do. Viking Raiders and Cedric take on the OC next here. This was a good match, you would say. AJ gets the pin on Cedric, continuing the demolition that they did at the pay-per-view of Cedric, which was interesting, but I imagine it's leading to a Cedric real explosion. Then the OC attacks the Viking Raiders afterwards, who of course are now fully faces. And then AJ tries to jump off the rope. Cedric tries to stop him, and then AJ does the plant off the top rope, which is incredible.
Styles Clash.
Styles Clash, rather, and it's done.
Yeah.
And AJ is left standing because everyone else is on the ground.
Yeah, so there also was that moment in the match where Ivar went to do a senton to the outside on top of the rope, and they all just kind of like moved, and he just like landed on the ground so hard. I felt so bad for his back.
It was nope. Not taking that one. We didn't discuss that.
They're like, like, sure, go right here. We'll catch you. Yeah, it's weird. I saw Brian Alvarez from The Observer. He was tweeting about how this is just like absolutely burying Cedric Alexander lately.
Not even. No,
and I don't feel that way at all.
It's not.
Going from not on the show at all, or only in the show, running across the screen with 20 other guys chasing down the 24/7 title, to being in a program with AJ Styles, is not being buried. If anything, it's the opposite of that.
Yep.
He shouldn't be beating AJ Styles yet. AJ Styles is one of the longest WWE champions as of recent memory.
Right.
It should be a struggle to beat AJ Styles. AJ Styles is one of the top guys in the company.
Well, you also have to ask, is this your first time watching wrestling? Like, you know that when they bury someone like this, it's because they're setting them up to come back, especially someone as over as Cedric. It's different when they're burying someone that they know the fans are not behind because they just want to be done with. Yeah, exactly, which I wish they would. Then they're just getting rid of him. But with something like this, they're doing, especially the hometown burial, is on purpose to give him more motivation so that when he starts to finally fight back and get to the position to win, it is because he has taken all these losses. And it will lead to great promos, which will be, hopefully, Cedric, this is your opportunity to step up to the mic and do some great promos talking about, I had to die in front of my hometown. I got beat, and that was embarrassing. Do you know what that's like to walk with that? I had to go back into the dungeon and fight and build myself back up again so I could take on AJ Styles. That's how it works.
I'm glad I'm not crazy, because this is how I was looking at my phone going like, buried? Yeah. Like, this is why people assume people are being buried because they lost a couple matches. Like, he's losing to AJ Styles.
Yeah.
Like, he's not losing to No Way Jose.
And he's losing in such dismissive ways that AJ will be overlooking him, and so when he beats them, AJ will have to go through his own crisis of confidence. It all works for the overall storyline. So,
and I know what he would say to that. He would say, "Oh, have you watched WWE?" But it's like they do that all the time. I don't know why people jump to like hating this. It's like they have weeks of storylines to fill.
Yeah.
Cedric Alexander shouldn't be beating AJ Styles right away. Like,
and it's okay to choose.
And he did beat him that one time.
Right.
He did beat him, and now the champion, the former champion or former world champion, is pissed that this young upstart made him look bad, and now he's making him pay for it until Cedric Alexander flips it on him, and then he wins. It's like that's a wrestling 101.
Yeah, exactly. And don't be surprised if a year from now, when AJ turns back to face, Cedric and AJ win the tag team titles. Don't be surprised. Don't be surprised.
Very confused by all that.
That was weird. I was seeing all the tweets about the burying, and I was like, oh, wait, they buried him? And I looked and I was like, oh, no, it was a brutal burial, which means they're setting up for an even greater comeback.
Yes.
It just makes the most sense.
Yes.
All right.
Called storylines.
Yeah, there we go. Let's get to the King of the Ring final, which was kind of just thrown in here into the Raw. It was weird.
It should have been on the pay-per-view.
I agree 1,000,000%.
Especially
it made
because
no sense to put it on the Raw.
Especially because it didn't main event the show.
No.
If it wasn't going to main event Raw, then it should have been on the pay-per-view.
It's a throwaway thing.
I agree.
But I mean, you built the whole thing up. You made a massive deal of that on Raw and SmackDown.
You promoted it to all the public trades.
And
you made this huge deal about it.
Exactly. And everyone saw it coming. King Corbin, everyone saw it coming, and it happened.
Yes.
But it happened, and it was kind of like, it wasn't as awesome as it should have been, even though the match was great. The
match was fantastic.
Damn good. That belonged on a pay-per-view. I think you're right,
Corbin
Ryan.
will be a good King of the Ring.
Yeah, sure. It'll be fun. It'll be absolutely fun doing it. And Chad loses nothing by losing.
No, if anything, look at this tournament. Look, as much as I wanted him to win, this tournament definitely put Chad Gable on the map. Gable, I know you were saying before, Chad Gable's not over, but you can't say it after watching that match.
My tune, yeah.
Okay, cool, because that crowd was so firmly behind him.
Yeah.
They were chanting his name. They were into Chad Gable.
Right.
And there were moments where I genuinely thought he was going to win. I loved the way he also, it's clear he's been working with Kurt Angle.
Oh, sure.
I mean, I don't have 100% insight on that, but it seems pretty evident that he's working with Kurt Angle just based on the way that he's been working the ankle lock into his game. I love it. I love what he's been doing. I loved this match. I thought that Chad Gable pulled off some dope stuff. These two had a fantastic singles match.
Agreed.
There were times where my girlfriend was grocery shopping at the beginning of Raw, and she came in during this match during one of the later near falls where I actually thought that maybe Chad Gable was going to win for a second. I forget which one it was. Might have been after he did the rolling German suplex thing they did. I forget what it was exactly, but there was a moment where I actually thought he was going to win, and I went like, oh, like when Baron Corbin kicked out. And 2 seconds later, or like a minute later, my girlfriend comes walking in the door, and she's like, were you just screaming in here? And I was like, yeah, dude, I thought Gable was going to win. And then like 2 more things happen, and then the flips him around, and he hit him with the end of days, and I went like, no! And then Corbin won, but you know what? Like, I say no, and yeah, but it's just because I really wanted Chad Gable to win because I'm a big Chad Gable fan. But ultimately, the fact that these two guys, were able to make someone like me who I watch a lot of wrestling, and I'm in the moment screaming while watching my TV that my girlfriend can hear outside of our apartment. Clearly, they did something good here.
I agree.
I enjoy the tournament as a whole, and I noticed in an interview that Baron Corbin did prior to winning, he said that if he wins, he's gonna try to make Chad Gable his jester. And I'm wondering if that's where all the Shorty G stuff is going. Because that's where my mind went, everyone's been trying to figure out what the Shorty G thing is going to be.
Oh my God, that could be like a stipulation of one of the matches. Because obviously this is going to be a program that lasts. Oh, so you see poor Chad in
like a jester
but I think
outfit
Chad
called
could make
Shorty
it
G.
work. From what I saw, Chad can make it work, make it funny, and then you sympathize with him even more.
Till he finally breaks back out. Yeah,
right.
I don't know. I was very nervous when I saw that because I go like, I've been defending it, but they just make him Corbin's jester. Oh, they call him Shorty G. I'm like, oh no.
It's brilliant. And then if he beats him, then later on Corbin will have to be the jester. To that totally works. You can see Corbin, that jester outfit, pissed off. All right, let's move on to the useless part of the night. That's the Canellas gender reveal of their baby. I could give 2 shits. It's a boy.
Wait, this was all great.
You're a fucking insane person. This was the worst part of the night. So all of a sudden, Ricochet's the dad just to give Canellas a fucking match against Ricochet.
No, he wasn't the dad.
Well, what he said, and then Ricochet went in there. Whatever.
It was clear, but he was like, I didn't do it.
Whatever Maria gurgled out of her mouth, and then Ricochet had to go fight Mike in the match. And of course, Ricochet won. It was like 2 minutes, and then Rusev came out. What the fuck was that all about? And then Rusev, I'm sorry, I'm cussing so much. I'm sorry, Scott Satin.
Apologize, Scott Satin.
I'm sorry, Scott Satin. I mean, that's why I wasn't on First Family. All right, so he comes running.
I think
down.
You're allowed to cuss. I think I'm not allowed.
Oh, fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, I'm not.
He doesn't care about your future.
Yeah, he's in good.
Clearly, that's why he didn't put you on the show.
Or maybe that is why, because he knew this is where I was supposed to be. Anyway, they go down Rusev comes out for whatever reason and then destroys Mike Kanellis as well. For the love of God, pay them to stay home. You've done this with so many other wrestlers. Please, nobody cares. All right,
I cared. I actually found it very entertaining. I laughed at all of this. The part when they said, was it on?
Well, the Street Profits made it worth it. They were funny.
When they said earlier in the night,
baby on a pole match. I'm down with a baby on a pole match.
No, they said Maria on a pole.
Well, they also said baby on a pole.
Yeah, remember when they said Maria on a pole, the Maria on a pole joke?
Yeah, the Maria on a pole joke. I skipped that. I don't want it. That's going too far.
I laughed at it. Look, I laughed at this whole segment. I was, also, I feel like one of the things you left out here is that they circled back to the Angelo Dawkins stuff. Angelo Dawkins had that one moment where he said, oh man, for a second I was scared it was going to be me.
Yeah, right.
And they were like, what? And now that's I believe it's the 3rd time Dawkins has acted weird about the Maria situation. I'm just saying, I really do think that they're leaning heavily into the fact that Angelo Dawkins is going to be the dad.
For the love of God, the Street Profits do not need to be connected to the Canella C, Canella's eyes.
Canella
at all. At all. Why attach yourself to an anchor that makes no sense when you're trying to rise up?
I'll be honest with you. The past few weeks, I was actually disappointed they had moved away from the Canellises. I have found this whole baby thing pretty entertaining myself. I laughed at all that. When she said, no, it's Ricochet, the look on Ricochet's face of like, and then everyone looking at him too, like, whoa. I was dying. I cracked the hell up. I thought it was funny. And then, after the break when she's yelling at him and she's like, maybe I'll let you know who the real father is. And then Rusev's music hit.
What's that all about?
Not sure what that's all about. They kept his surprise, his return a surprise. He was like kept in the van, the bus backstage, the kayfabe bus or whatever, where they keep the big talent that they're trying to keep a surprise. And I'm told it kind of came together the last minute when they told him, when they asked him to come out. Rusev looking probably the best shape of his career.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible. Very slim and still strong.
Yeah. With Freddie Mercury mustache too now.
Yeah, true.
But I liked it, but I wonder where they're going with it, because I don't think that Rusev needs to be paired with Maria.
No.
I don't think he needs that. But I'm pretty sure he's not the father. And this is just kind of like a distraction to kind of get him back. And then I'm assuming Lana will be playing some part in all of this too, where Lana comes back, and it's to repair Lana and Rusev, I imagine. And I don't think he's actually the father. I think this is another distraction, just like Ricochet was. That's my guess.
That's cool.
Hey, I also like the Rowan stuff. I like the Rowan stuff too. I like when they have mystery angles.
Rowan's great.
But it was another mystery angle.
Yeah.
This is like a fun mystery thing of who knocked up Maria Kanellis. It's a fun angle.
How is that a fun angle? That means she's sleeping around the locker room behind her husband's back. How is that a positive angle?
I didn't say it was first of all, this is pro wrestling. I don't know what you're talking about.
Human beings.
A positive angle.
You don't have a KKK guy coming out.
Are you comparing someone cheating on their wife to being a fucking KKK? Are you out of your mind?
I didn't go to the Nazis. At least I kept it in the realm of
cheating on your wife is not the same as being in the KKK.
Well, first of all, he's not cheating on his wife.
Sorry, cheating on your husband is not the same as being involved in the KKK. Number one.
I don't know.
Second of all,
I don't get involved in those gradations.
Have you ever watched a soap opera? This is a male soap opera with men fighting in it.
This is a male and female soap opera. Let me correct you.
Male and female soap opera.
That's what I'm saying. You don't need to have this stock character of the cheating wife. You don't need it. Who's sleeping around with the whole locker room?
But if they're in on it, it's not like she's actually sleeping around with the locker room.
I know,
this isn't like they did it with Sunny, where they're like playing off of a real life thing to kind of like rib her a little bit. This is a married woman with a child.
I didn't know about that with Sunny. Yeah, all right.
I'm just saying, this isn't like, Sunny was. It's a very known fact. Sunny was.
I don't get involved in that.
Was doing things like that. Go look in the history books.
All right, fine. I'll go look at the history books. I just don't like it. That's all I'm getting at. Let's move on.
I loved it.
All right, fair enough. We're disagreeing on that. All right, what I missed is that Kane and R-Truth are having this. Kane's giving him this tour in Tennessee. He is the governor or mayor of some town in Tennessee.
Knox County. Question.
Yeah.
So,
I'm sorry.
In kayfabe WWE universe.
Yeah.
Is there now another iteration of Kane? Because there's Kane.
Right.
And then there's corporate Kane.
There's no corporate Kane anymore. There's Kane and there's Mark, whatever his name is.
Glenn Jacobs?
Oh, Glenn Jacobs. Mark is Undertaker. Sorry.
But he referred to himself as Glenn Jacobs.
Because he's the mayor of Glenn Jacobs.
So wouldn't that be a third entity of Kane?
What do you mean? There's Kane and Glenn Jacobs.
There's Kane. There's corporate Kane,
where
he was maskless in a suit. And then now there's Mayor Glenn Jacobs.
But corporate Kane was a phase he was going through.
It was a gimmick. But they
was a
called him
phase.
corporate Kane.
He was still Kane, though.
But
when The Rock was in the corporation, he was still The Rock.
But he wasn't called Corporate Rock. He was called The Rock.
Because he's called The Rock.
This was when he wasn't Scary Man.
Right.
When he was in a suit.
Right.
When he wasn't Hellboy.
Yeah.
Wrong term. When he wasn't Fireboy, whatever.
Yeah.
When he wasn't Mr. Hell. He was in a suit.
Yes.
And he was known as Corporate Kane.
Right.
So is this not a third entity in the WWE universe?
Sure.
Like in the record books.
Sure.
Is it Kane?
It's just Kane.
Because they said it's the first mayor to be 24/7 champion.
Right.
Kane is not the mayor of Knox County. Glenn Jacobs is the mayor of Knox County.
Is the Fiend Bray Wyatt or is the Bray Wyatt the Fiend? It's the same.
They're two separate entities. We just had this discussion a little while ago.
Two separate entities.
Yes, they are.
The same person. They're the same person.
But in the record books,
Even kayfabe
is
is
it
the same
Mayor
person.
Glenn Jacobs who was 24/7 champion?
Yes.
So Kane was not 24/7 champion.
Kane was not 24/7 champion.
So then there's three different
You're
characters.
giving corporate Kane a separate entity, and I don't agree. It's just Kane going through a separate part of his. He's still Kane.
Kane in a suit though.
Is married Kane different from single Kane? It's still Kane.
That's not the same thing.
It's still Kane.
No.
Yes. That's a life choice. Even that's even bigger than corporate Kane. And the KKK. All right, let me move on.
Oh God, no.
You want 3 K's? You want a KKK?
Oh God. Stop it, Rocha.
You started it. All right, let's move on.
But these segments were fun. I liked when he brought the referee out and then he
This was great.
and then Truth realized what was going on and he was
Yeah.
like, I got another engagement I gotta be in, and he started running away and hit the pole. That cracked me up. I loved it. And then when he was hanging on the top of the limousine.
The limo was great too, yeah.
Oh,
and
so good.
Getting the title back. That was so much. See, that's comedy, ladies and gentlemen. That's how you do it when you have actual people who can do it. All right, let's move on. Rey Mysterio versus Cesaro. Interesting promo by Cesaro mentioning Dominic.
Wait, also,
Sure.
I liked when he won, when he beat Richard Truth for the title, and he went, and new, and then he went, you still got it, as he was running away. He chanted, you still got it for himself.
To himself.
Which cracked me up.
Look, you
for
got to
some
give
reason.
Glenn Jacobs so much credit, man, because this Kane thing, like a lot of people thought it was going to be one-dimensional. He through the Undertaker's brother, blah, blah, blah. But Kane, whenever Glenn gets to do his own thing, he is so much fun to watch.
Yeah.
Just without the mask and just as a person, right? When he was Corporate Kane, he never disappointed in terms of his promos or interactions. The Daniel Bryan thing, the no thing, he makes it all work. Whatever they throw at him, he's rarely not made something work. And it's kind of a huge positive for him overall as a character. So shout out to Glenn Jacobs, man.
It's been a fun episode. I really hope everyone gets to see this and this isn't lost again since we had that technical difficulty.
Oh yeah, let's hope so.
Knock on wood.
I know, I
This
agree.
has been a fun episode.
A lot of go backs. All right, Rey Mysterio versus Cesaro. Promos about Dominic coming down the aisle, and which leads to a fantastic match between these two guys. In the end, Rey gets the victory. But what have we done here? Cesaro's putting people over again. He's starting to lose a lot again. I mean, he doesn't lose anything because the NXT stuff kind of redeemed him a little bit here, but here he gets the loss against Rey. This kind of pushes the Rey thing coming back. What's the Dominic thing though, man? Where are we going with this?
Yeah, I don't know. To be honest with you, it was.
'Cause he
I
mentioned
really
it.
enjoyed the match. It was hard for me to focus on anything though because I was wondering where Cesaro's gear was.
Oh, good point.
Like I was like, why is he just in dress pants and like shoes with no socks?
Right.
Like, where's his gear? Like, where's his elbow pads? Like, where's his boots? Like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
I was real confused the whole match, and it wasn't
Maybe
really
it's just a
explained.
change.
I hope it's not a change because that was a weird look if it was a change.
It was. Now, is that a separate Cesaro or is that the real? The
That's not, he doesn't have a different name. Just because you change your clothes, Rocha, doesn't mean it was a whole different
Corporate
gimmick.
Kane literally changed his clothes.
It was a different gimmick, though. They called him Corporate Kane.
Okay.
He was not treated as like the hell guy. He was treated as a totally different thing. In fact, it was like they even kept his mask in a cage to signify that was a different one, that like keeping him away from the mask was how to keep him away from the character, if I recall correctly. So
Now, is there a Hunter Hearst Helmsley at Triple H and a Triple H corporate Triple H?
that's not the same thing.
All right.
But yes, there is.
All right.
But in the record books, he was always just called Triple H.
Right.
When he was doing his other thing, he was called Corporate Kane.
Okay.
They didn't call him Kane. They called him Corporate Kane.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
All right.
And now, they're not calling him Corporate Kane when he wins.
It's Glenn Jacobs.
So I'm asking, since there are now 3 different things that you're supposed to call the person, just like Mick Foley. Yes, there are 3
Now
faces of Foley.
three faces of Foley.
So how is that different? but the
Totally
Kane
different.
stuff
Because
isn't?
they're completely different characters.
So is these.
No, Corporate Kane is still Kane. He's just corporate.
No,
Dude
he's
Love
a
is not
completely different
Dude
character.
Love is not Cactus Jack, but Dude Love. Cactus Jack, Dude Love, and Mankind are all 3 different things.
Different characters.
Yes.
So was Corporate Kane
And then Mick Foley's
regular
a
Kane.
4th character.
Yes, and so is Glenn Jacobs. You're literally proving my point.
No, I'm not actually.
You're
because,
literally arguing in my favor here.
No, because it's not Cactus Jack Foley and
Kane is mankind. Corporate Kane.
Kane is mankind.
In comparison,
Right.
Kane is mankind. Is it comparable to mankind?
Sure.
Corporate Kane.
No, this is what I'm telling you. If the name is still attached to the next version, it is still the same thing.
No, but it's not.
Yes, Mick Foley is not the same as Dude Love, Cactus Jack, or Mankind.
Corporate Kane is different than regular Kane.
His name is literally Corporate Kane. If it was a Dude Love Foley, then I wouldn't say it's a separate thing either.
But I mean, like, the American Badass is different than the Undertaker. You don't think so?
It is. I don't want to talk about it.
So I mean, like, you're literally making no sense in your argument. You just don't want to accept the fact.
You just don't want to agree. You just don't want to caught you out on this.
You're not making any sense. You're calling me out so it doesn't make sense.
The American Badass is a completely different name from the Undertaker. Corporate Kane just added one thing in front of Kane. Kane is still the foundation.
But he completely changed his character.
But Kane is still the foundation. There's no difference.
Undertaker was still the foundation of the American Badass. You all knew it was the Undertaker, but he was now the American Badass.
He was American Badass. It wasn't the Undertaker. It wouldn't call up the dead. It wasn't bringing up the spirits of the dead.
But this is a
completely
different name. So is this not?
No.
So even Glenn Jacobs, the mayor, isn't a different character than Kane?
Glenn Jacobs is a different character.
So he only has two characters.
He only has two.
Glenn
Kane
Jacobs, the mayor,
and Glenn Jacobs.
And Kane.
Right.
Even though Corporate Kane was a completely different gimmick.
If Glenn Jacobs becomes Senator Glenn Jacobs, he's not a different character.
Wait, what?
Yeah. Because the mayor, Glenn Jacobs, if he becomes Senator Glenn Jacobs, guess what you just did? You just added a different title in front of the same name of Glenn Jacobs. So does that, by your logic, then he's become a completely different character when he becomes Senator Glenn Jacobs.
I don't know if you're understanding my point
Glenn
here, but I'm talking about the gimmick itself was
Yes,
totally
but
different.
my point to you is if Kane is still in the name, then he is still Kane. He's just another version of Kane. It doesn't mean he's a different character.
But I just said that there's a different version of him in the record books. This has all been me saying in the record books.
No, it won't be there.
Is there three different versions of Kane
And
now?
I've answered you no, because if you look it up, it'll just say Kane. I guarantee you.
Okay.
If you can find me a Wikipedia entry for Corporate Kane with separate stats and separate...
That's not how Wikipedia works, though. It's the same person, obviously.
That's my point.
But your point makes no fucking sense.
It makes
Sorry, Dad.
Oh, there it is. Hey, Scott, I broke him. I broke him for you, Scott. Let's move on. We've already taken way too much time. I got to get on a fucking plane.
Yeah, I know, Rocha.
All right, we go back to the Firefly Fun House, Ryan's favorite parts of this whole damn show. Bray is the Fiend is hanging up a picture of Seth Rollins with the red eye, red crosses across his eyes. The X is there.
And Finn Balor was there now,
and Finn Balor was hanging there as well, which implies he might be doing to him what he did to Finn. The announcers pitched the draft is happening, so we get this idea that's happening, which a lot of people are making fun of online, and they should. A wild card thing. Didn't we just have a draft like 3 months ago? It's all just weird.
Well, that was a superstar shakeup.
Yeah, sure. And then one of my favorite highlights of the night, the AOP. I liked their promo.
This was fantastic.
Yeah. Badass.
So badass.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone's wondering where the hell they were. The fact that they're making them like the Salamanca twins from Breaking Bad, where they're like,
good
in
point.
those suits,
Oh,
they're
shit,
like
good reference.
quiet killers, I loved it. I'll be honest, I didn't come up with that on my own. I saw it on social media. I saw it on Twitter last night. But it is a great comparison.
Sure.
I didn't come up with that on my own, though. But dude, I loved it. I've talked about how I've wanted to see these guys be treated as like the badass threats they are and kind of play into their MMA background.
Yeah.
I mean, Razor still trains doing MMA, and he's posted videos where he looks like an absolute monster. So I was so pumped to see that they're kind of getting a little bit of a retooled version of themselves. I like the way they phrased it all, the way they angled it all, where it was like, we haven't wrestled since WrestleMania because everyone's too scared to wrestle us.
Yeah.
I love that. I will say, a little similar to the Aleister Black stuff, because it was like, people are too scared to fight us, which is and sitting in a dark room, which is kind of what Aleister Black was doing, in a less demonic way.
But they're saying, if you don't let us fight, we are going to pick the fights.
Much more badass.
Whereas Aleister is like, come find me.
Come find.
Come challenge me, because I don't want assault and battery charges. You have to hit me first. Yeah, it was ridiculous.
So I thought this was so well done.
I can't wait.
I had no problem with the language barrier
Yep,
thing of like
I think
them.
it's perfect.
I thought it was cooler. That made
Yep.
them seem like more badass. You're like,
Yep.
this is like guys you don't want to fuck with. You know, oh, damn it, guys you don't want to screw with. I'm not gonna edit that out, Dad. Sorry, but it's like guys you don't want to screw with. And so I thought it was fantastic.
Wait, your dad thinks if you use cuss words, you're not going to move up in your career as a pundit? Is he insane? The president has used cuss words in rallies. What are you talking about?
No, not the F word.
Yes, he has. You better go look it up. You better go look it up.
In rallies?
Yes.
Uses the F word?
Lindsey Graham did. Go look it up as well. They have used that. They're all getting bold now, swaggering around podiums.
Without getting political, it's
Anyway,
not
no,
really
I'm
like
just saying.
the best person to be following in their
Yeah,
footsteps.
I'm just saying.
I don't know
Oh,
if
that's a fair
like
point.
the
That's a
guy
fair
that I
point.
want to go, well, he's doing it, so you can do it.
That's fair points. Yeah. Anyway.
No, it's to broaden to make it acceptable for everyone.
I agree.
But
I understand.
It is for that as well.
Okay,
is that
fair
he
enough.
thinks that it's not as professional.
Okay. Yeah, I respect that.
I respect.
But I think you'll be able to work within the parameters of whatever thing you're put in. So
I believe so.
You feel that you can cuss here because we're bros.
It's mine.
We're bros and we're
We're
doing
bros. We're just talking about
it.
wrestling.
Well, it's ours. Let's
It's ours.
the show. Anyway, let's move on.
But I go like, well, I don't got any boss that wants me to be really professional. But then I go, well, crap. My dad is technically going to be like, well, if you want to pretend like you don't have a boss, I will be your boss. Stop cussing.
Oh.
That's kind of what I feel like. He
Wow.
goes, my dad was my boss for a long time.
I respect
he runs
that.
He ran his own production company. He's
I
been a
respect that.
successful man.
Yeah, I'm going to get him on the deep cut. All right.
Watch World's Funniest Weather on in syndication
It's
now.
happening now? Oh, cool. All
Bruce
right.
Entertainment Studios. My dad's the executive producer of it. Very
Nice.
funny clip show.
Hey, man. I got a show to pitch. All right. Corey Graves. It's about wrestling. No, I'm joking. Corey Graves. Let's jump into this thing now. Alexa Bliss and Nikki taking on Sasha and Bayley. It's finally time for this match. Corey Graves. Hey, maybe you're watching this show, Corey, because you gave Cole shit for saying boss time every single time she comes out. Just like I said last week, I'm tired of it. I'm done with it. It should stop happening. I like that Corey Graves called him out on it.
I also like the way he said it this
Yeah.
time, where he was like, "Oh, it's boss time." Like he was all like not pumped about it. Like now that she's a heel,
Now
I like
she's
that
a heel.
little touch.
Yeah, Corey gave him so much shit about it. Sasha Bayley, come out. This was a fun match. So much from all of them. Nikki certainly got her chance to sign, which makes sense because Alexa's already done her thing. She doesn't need to do too much. Plus that flip off the thing, it looked like it hurt her, and she even put it on Instagram as an ouch thing, and it looked like she slipped off and hit her ass. Nikki messed up one move there, which looked a little dangerous.
When she jumped off, when she went to do like the Hardy Boy
she
kind of looking
slipped.
move. Yeah,
that was kind of scary.
Yeah.
So I was glad she's okay. But Nikki did her thing here, but they all in the end, Sasha and Bayley get the win here eventually after Alexa has to get taken to the back because of a knee injury, and then Becky's music hits. She comes down. Charlotte's music hits. Justin looks like it's going to be 2-on-1 with the chairs. And then all four of them delivered the worst chair shots I've ever seen in the history of mankind. I was so mad about this because everything that built up worked so well, and then their chair shots were like, or
you pay attention to that more than anyone I've ever heard of. I don't know why you
because I've seen them done
you
so
had
well.
trouble picking up a chair to do that yourself over there like 2 seconds ago.
I was just being playful.
Yeah.
And I'm 48. When I was 28, like those girls, I could pick up chairs. Damn it! But I'm just saying, it just seemed weird. It just didn't 100% work. And I like it to work because
See,
I think the first time they did it, it really worked when they went after Becky.
I liked that. What's her face? Sasha was alone it was Sasha and Becky, and then Bayley started to come out, and then you don't hear the crowd pop for Charlotte very often.
No, they
But when
popped.
her music hit, they popped.
Yep.
And then she decks Bayley from behind, and
Yep.
you've kind of got like the oh damn like Becky and Charlotte are gonna have to be friends now.
Yeah.
Like I liked all that. I was
did
really
too.
into it.
I think so too.
The chair thing yet didn't bother me. In fact, I actually laughed when it looked like Becky tried to decapitate Sasha with the chair for a
Yeah.
second. Well, she came at her like in
That's
the
what I mean.
head
It was, like,
with a
so
swipe
weird.
move. Weird, but I kind of liked it. I was like,
Okay.
damn, she was. I actually said out loud, I was like, she's trying to decapitate her with that chair.
Yeah, I mean, but I thought the Sasha thing was weird too. Her going way over Becky and then dropping it for no reason and turning around to take that. Make it believable. That's all I'm asking. Make it believable. Make it look in rhythm, and it'll be great. It's a great addition to what you've already built up. That's what
They are taught to over exaggerate their
It's a
chair hits
nitpick.
like that.
It's a nitpick.
It's okay.
It's a nitpick.
I'll let you have this.
Yeah,
one.
it's a nitpick. let me. That's a nitpick. But anyway, then we go to the back end. Sasha challenges Becky to a match at Hell in a Cell.
Bitch.
She does her pretty. That's what she says. And then we come back after the Kane thing. We come back to Becky, and she does her promo and accepts the challenge. This is gonna be fun.
Dude, Becky is killing it.
Oh yeah,
Man, Becky is absolutely killing it in promos,
because they
dude.
finally let her go again.
Yeah. when they're like letting her go, and they're the way they're letting her go, I love it. I mean, those like to cam interviews are so much better than an interviewer asking questions. And when she's just like looking like a badass in the locker room doing her thing, love it. And additionally, I have to point out that we gave them so much crap for the Kevin Owens stuff. This is how you book someone after getting a fine. You don't have them be like, oh, I'm so sorry. Like, please get rid of the fine. Like, blah, blah, blah. No, you have her go, oh, WWE fined me $10,000. Don't care. Back to Sasha because I know that I'm going to kick her ass.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yep.
Very simple.
Don't disagree.
It's not hard. Like, it's like you made Owens look like a less cool of a guy, less tough of a guy by trying to like come back with his tail between his legs. Kevin Owens is like, oh, the family. No, Becky looks like $10,000, cool. And if they come back with $100,000, I don't care. That's how you do it. And then she just plowed right through that fine like it didn't faze her in the slightest bit. It's why she's one of the hottest people in the industry right now, because they're making her look like a badass.
Well, maybe Kevin Owens is the one who gets hired to Raw. Maybe he gets moved off SmackDown, fired off SmackDown, and he gets moved to Raw. He can do his thing in Raw. That would be great. That would be great.
Maybe.
So anyway,
but yeah, the promo was great. I loved it. I'm pumped that they're gonna be in a Hell in a Cell match.
Me too. I'm looking forward to it. Let's move on to a weird match between Lacey and Dana Brooke. This was just, I guess, to give Lacey some TV time and let you know she's still on the roster. Destroys Dana Brooke, sending a message to Natty supposedly, and blah blah blah.
Yeah, it's been weird. Whatever they're doing with Lacey, I don't hate it because the matches have been entertaining. But it has been a little confusing as to like what they're. I mean, I guess they're just trying to build up the Natty Lacey stuff. I guess
I'm gonna get shit for this, and okay, so sometimes it's part of it. But I think the problem that Lacey has no one to really fight and challenge her that they're putting up there tells me that there is a little bit of a weakness in the women's side of things, or they're not booking her against talent that can bring out the best in Lacey. It isn't Dana. Nothing against Dana. Dana, she has done what she can do, and I love and respect Dana very much because she's dealt with a lot of shit as she's tried to be a WWE superstar. But there is Naomi in there. Naomi, where's Naomi? You couldn't have put Naomi
exactly
against.
What I was thinking.
Yeah, you put Naomi against Lacey. That would be a fantastic match. Something you got to give her something to put her. And yeah, it'll put her over a little bit more, but at least these good matches.
Yep.
And that's what we're looking for.
I completely agree with you. I think that it is definitely shining a light on the fact that they're not. They need the draft. I think they need. They need to mix up the rosters a little bit. I think that. You know, Kairi Sane could go in that position too, and people will be into it.
Yeah. Move up Bianca. Move up. Well,
Shayna. Bianca, I do think is needed on NXT right now as they go to USA. I think that a lot of the people in NXT
that's a good point.
aren't going to be moved
Velveteen's not going anywhere.
No. Even I did a conference call with Triple H this week where it was he was in promoting NXT on USA.
Yeah.
And he mentioned the fact he implied heavily that NXT is not involved in the draft.
Oh,
that this draft is to focus on Raw and SmackDown.
Okay, that's fair.
Maybe one or two people.
Sure.
But it was pretty much implied that like it's not Raw, SmackDown, and NXT in the draft.
Where are the Street Profits?
That's a great question.
Yeah,
it's a great question. I honestly don't know. Yeah. I think they're both, but that's a great question because I don't know. They need to be moved off. They should be moved off of NXT. So they should, but. They should, yeah. But it's a great question. I don't know where they actually technically stand on the roster.
That's why I keep this job, ladies and gentlemen. All right, right at the end.
I also real fast before we move off. I died laughing during Lacey's entrance when she stood there trying to get the guy to kiss her hand and was just waiting and telling the guy to like, and just waiting. And when the guy finally went to grab it, she pulled it away like, ew, and like walked away from him. That was a nice little touch. I laughed.
Agreed. Seth Rollins, before we get to the final match here, we got to wrap up. Seth Rollins taking on Robert Roode. This was a good back and forth between these guys. Didn't get a lot of time necessarily, and then eventually Ziggler comes in and when Seth's about to do the roll up on Roode, gets the DQ. Then the OC Ziggler and Roode absolutely start to destroy Rollins, and it gets a bit brutal. And then out of nowhere, Kane shows up, which was a great surprise.
Though I will say, when it happened, I thought to myself, don't Kane and Seth Rollins not like each other in storyline terms?
Which Kane are you talking about?
Kane. Remember Kane dragged Seth Rollins to hell?
He did.
During the whole corporate Kane thing?
Kane's dragged his brother to hell. They still get along.
Yeah, but I don't know if you remember. You clearly don't remember the whole corporate storyline when he was corporate Kane. But there was mad beef between them during that whole storyline when Seth was like the corporate champion or whatever, and then corporate Kane and him had some issues and all that kind of thing, and then he went back to being Kane. All of that. So when Kane's music hit, I said to myself, why would Kane be saving Seth Rollins? Like, and then like as he was making his way to the ring, I said to myself, the Fiend said he was gonna show up tonight. This is the perfect setup for the Fiend. Don't care about continuity issues. Get in the ring, Kane. And then sure enough, Kane does his thing and he's choke slamming people. And then it was like, pew! Right when he went to do the hand, do the whole fire. And I was like, yes. And then they have the Fiend come in and he does the mandible claw on him. And he does then he does the creepiest on top of Seth Rollins staring in his face, like just so sketchy. Like it looked like a horror movie. Which is, I love that they're making this look like a legit horror movie. And it honestly felt like, we started with Bray Wyatt. Yeah. We ended with the Fiend. Then we got the Firefly Fun House thing again at the end of it where it cut, which I thought was an awesome touch. Yeah. That they instead of just ending the show like they normally do, they then cut to this creepy long version of the Firefly Funhouse song that goes for 2 minutes. Yeah, it was weird. It was I literally, my girlfriend and I were like, is this supposed to be going this long? Like, I don't know if they ended early on accident or something, but the fact that it played out for 2 minutes in such a creepy manner made me feel like I was watching a horror movie, and I loved it. And that's the point, I think, and that's why it worked, and that's why you let Heyman be in charge of things. Because Heyman is not about what should the network executives want? He's going to find that thing that works kind of in the middle, and this does, because it's not going to be a habit of doing this. He tried it out here to get the effect on the fans, and I thought it worked really well. It honestly made me feel like the point of this show was almost to be like one effed up long version of the Firefly Funhouse. Yeah, sure. It started off with the intro from Bray. We had him later. Yep. We had the rabbit saying this isn't what it looks like. Right. We had a couple teases of him. Then he ends the show where the Fiend comes out, and then we have that long thing. I was just like, man, this was so masterfully done, in my opinion. Yeah. That's me. I personally think everything they're doing with the Fiend right now and Bray Wyatt, the amount of thought that they're putting into it is just like so cool to me, and so commendable. I'm just like, you never see this much work put into a character. No, I agree. Like, thoroughly. This is like some next level stuff. Like, I can't think of what this is comparable to. Yeah. This is what the Demon should have been in a certain way when he first was there. Like, it's almost like they learned their lesson of what went wrong with the Demon character. Right. And have applied it to make sure they don't let that happen again with the Fiend. Right. Because the Demon was supposed to be this entity within Finn Balor that he didn't want to come out. That he at all costs avoided bringing that out within him because it was too powerful. It could take him over. Mm-hmm. That was like the concept of the Demon initially, and that's kind of what we're getting with the Fiend now. Yeah. Of like, this is something that controls Bray Wyatt, but he doesn't. He's at war within himself over it. It feels like it's great. I love it. I give him the title. Don't care. Oh, give him the title. No, stop Hold it till Mania. And then he gets vanquished by someone cool. Do you think it'll be, will it be corporate? You can't even make the joke because it doesn't make sense, just like your entire argument. The corporate. ProWrestlingSheet.com. That's the website where you can find all the top stories in the world of professional wrestling throughout the week at Wrestling Sheet on social media. He was right. I couldn't make the joke. YouTube.com/C/Wrestling Sheet. That's where you can find the videos that we do here. Hopefully this one made it. Hopefully, fingers crossed. That's where you can find the videos that we do. Raw and Smackdown recaps, Wrestling Sheet Radio as well, though I didn't do it last week. I apologize. I had something very important I had to handle. Also, if you want to check out the audio of all the shows, check out our podcast feed. It's all the major podcast platforms. Just search Wrestling Sheet Radio.
Boom. Follow him at the Ryan Satin. Follow me at the Rocha. Says I will not be here tomorrow because I am going to London to do a set
Foggy
visit.
London town.
Yes, that's Foggy London town.
Did I do that right?
I don't know if there's an NXT UK taping going on this week.
Isn't.
There isn't?
I don't think so.
Damn it. I would love to have seen something live there in the UK, especially after that Cardiff TakeOver show, which was so much fun.
Yeah, because they already did the taping after
Okay.
for their next few weeks of TV.
Well, I'm bringing my mic and my H4n, so if I run into any wrestler, I'm just going to interview him there on the street.
if I see Pete Dunne out there while I'm getting some fish and chips, I'm rushing up to him with my microphone.
I'm climbing that mustache mountain, damn it, and I'm going to interview them about this stuff. All right. Anyway, if you're there in the UK, I think I might try to arrange something on a Friday or Saturday night. If you're a Schmodown fan and a fan of stuff we do here on Pro Wrestling Sheet, come out and say hi. All right. Talk to you then. Take care. Ryan will handle you tomorrow for SmackDown Live. Have a great rest
Hopefully
of your
I'm not
week.
alone this time.
ProWrestlingSheet.com